Welcome into the Gramlich and McLean podcast presented by Ingles, the official supermarket of Gramlich and McLean. Week 9, somehow, some way, Mac. I have no clue how we got here. But when you get into this area of the season, week 9-ish, you start getting into Halloween time here at McLean. And we're starting to do some festivities and things of that nature. And the place to get your Halloween candy, whether you get it before Halloween or you go the day after and you load up, because that's the way to do it if you want to get it on sale. The place to get the Halloween candy is Ingles, as we always know.
Yes, it 100% is. And you know what? There's something to that, getting it the day after. And could you imagine if like a whole neighborhood just did a movement and they're saying, hey, November 1, we're celebrating Halloween. Don't go out. Don't go trick or treating until
Smart.
November 1st. We buy all the candy for 50% off, maybe more. Just saying, we could save a lot of money. You could save even more by going to Ingles. So do
Wow.
that, load up. You know what? Also, it's time, KG. I don't know if you and I have talked about this to date yet, but it is like consistently chili. See where I'm going
Yes.
here? So we're doing chili all the time. Like I'm doing white bean chili, chicken chili, normal Texas chili, chili with beans and tomatoes and all the things. I'm doing chili any way you can, and that's what I
Boom.
do. So what are you doing this time? I'm also getting firewood. I don't know if the Ingles near you has firewood, but the one over on Issaquena Trail, we used to always get it there. So literally, I get all my fall things from Ingles. So let's get a message from them really quick, and then we're jumping in this weekend, which well, it might be a little spooky weekend. We'll talk about it on the other side. Let's get to a message from Ingles.
Did you know that Ingles sells more organics than any other store? Or that they run their own dairy? Or that they only serve USDA choice and prime meat? Did you know that they have more local craft beer than any place else? Or that they have Energy Smart stores? Or that they professionally slice and package imported cheese from Europe? Did you know about their giant international aisle, local farm partnerships, curbside pickup, wine department? Or that they donate 3,956 meals a day to local food banks? Well, now you do. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Like you said, this weekend could get a little spooky. I'm not sure how spooky we want it to get, but we're just going to go start with the ranked teams, go in order, and then talk about the rest of the games afterwards. A team that isn't ranked is SMU, but I think SMU Wake may be the most arguably interesting game of the weekend. I'm really intrigued by that one, and the spread is pretty low. But let's start with the ACC's highest ranked team. As we all predicted before the season, it is number 7, Georgia Tech. Obviously, top 10, Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, baby. And they are hosting Syracuse, another noon game for Georgia Tech. It's like, that's all they play, which this one's at home, so I like that better. They did go on the road to Duke and again slept through another first half. There's something about when they go to North Carolina, they sleep through the first half, but at home, they're generally better. And when you look at this game overall, Syracuse, of course, has been just a shell of themselves since the Angeli injury. But we know kind of what the MO is from Georgia Tech, what they want to do. They want to wear Syracuse down. And Syracuse, to be frank, Mac, has been worn down by every team they've played since the Clemson game.
Yeah, they really have. And it is unfortunate, you know, that
Brutal.
this team was catching a little bit of heat and getting warmed up, and then a devastating injury happens that you see there. And since whipping Clemson at Clemson, they've lost 38-3, 31-18, 30-13. I mean, they're just getting pushed around, pummeled, and they are playing some pretty high octane offenses too. Like Duke, SMU, Pitt, as of right now, are two teams that are hitting on all cylinders, playing really well offensively. Georgia Tech's probably in that as well. And so you're facing, and it's a little bit of a different beast. Those 3 teams that you played before, spread it out, throw the ball a ton. These guys are going to run it straight down your throat. And I hope you're ready because they're going to make you like it the way that they do that in the frame set, kind of mindset that they really have there. So I think this is more of the same. It is interesting, though. Is this the slip up? Is this the game that you like just look at and you're like, how did this happen? Why did this happen?
Because that's been happening to everybody, right?
Happens to everybody. And it happens in this league every year. We've gone through it for 5-6 seasons together, figuring this out. And I just hope and think that they are, because they are home, because they understand, like Coach Key was saying it earlier this week, anybody can beat us on any given Saturday. You either get better or you get worse. There was one other thing, Coach Talk, that he said, I can't remember, but it's all true. It's all true. And so what do you want to do? Oh, he said, God, gosh, what did he say? Something about teams die within or something, not from the outside. Something just like super
Oh,
Saban-ish. But it was cool. I liked it. So that's my thought process. And hopefully that is getting hammered into these guys each and every day. And this is going to be a theme for all these teams, the rest of the way here. I was talking, KG, to a Louisville podcast, which we're going there this weekend. I don't know if you heard. Very excited. And so I'm talking to as many Louisville people as I can. And they kind of asked about the strength of the league and the fact that, it's not Clemson, it's not FSU, but these other teams, and there's a handful of them, have really stood up tall. And I said, yes. And I love that. And it's great. And I do think it shows how strong our league is. But this is the cutoff point. This is the point where I don't want to sit here and say, oh, this team beat that team. Look how strong. No, I need the good teams that are good right now to remain good and to be great and to start, dominating people. Because this is when you want to play your best football. As we are entering November, we're entering championship phase here. You've got to turn up and you've got to be that team. And I think Georgia Tech can do that. Again, Syracuse very much banged up, not even close to who they were in that Clemson game. And you have to think that a Georgia Tech team's only getting better.
I agree with you on that, Mac, because when you look at the top 5, if you will, the 4 ranked teams in SMU, I think I'm right in saying this. The only teams that play each other left are SMU and Louisville.
And
So
Miami. SMU and Miami play next week.
SMU, Miami. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's next week.
So
it's really
SMU is
just
the one that
SMU.
could play spoiler for everybody.
Mhm. And SMU has every chance to play themselves into the ACC championship. But that's kind of your point. The way the schedule shaped up, we don't have a bunch of, we're not going to get number 7 Georgia Tech versus number 9 Miami in the regular season. We're not going to get that. We did last year, and that was where Miami slipped up, ironically, was in Atlanta. So a lot of these teams have very winnable games left on their schedule. And we need to see you do that. I think the biggest thing for me with Georgia Tech, number 7 in the country, a 16.5-point favorite in this game. The one thing that's concerned me, and I've said it many times, I just alluded to it, it's been their first halves. It just feels like they get off to a sleepy start, and they are the king of noon games. That's what they keep getting handed. And I understand that can be a little annoying, but let's see a quick start for Georgia Tech. Let's not get outgained by 200 yards in the first half like you did in Durham. And I don't think that should be an issue necessarily, Mac, against Syracuse, who has, the second worst rush defense in the ACC. That's going to be a problem.
It is. It absolutely is. And you just have to think, okay, be who we are, do what we do, get in, get out. Like that's what I want to see. And they just have not been productive at all. You look at these last 2 games, Ricky Collins has been the leading, obviously, passer and rusher. Last week against Pittsburgh, that was for 120 passing yards and 42 rushing yards. Georgia Tech, you better not.
Mm-mm.
Like, I don't even want to put it out there. I know I already have. I want to reel it back and just bottle it up and throw it away. This should not be even a case here. So I think Georgia Tech knows that. I think they feel that. I think they win this by 20 plus. Give me the Jackets. Give me all the points. And I'm fine with all that.
Agreed. I think Georgia Tech covers here, and they stay in the top 10. Again, so crazy. That's where we are. But they've earned it. Absolutely. All right, let's get to our next top 10 team here. MAC number 9, Miami, hosts Seminole Killers, the Stanford Cardinal. 7 o'clock on ESPN.
Somebody clip that and just pump
Yeah.
it everywhere. The Seminole Killers.
They don't need
Stanford.
that. I've been, Mac, okay, this is just a quick sidebar because we're talking Miami and I shouldn't be doing this. I've been consuming a lot of Florida State content this week. As you know, I've been sending you stuff. This whole saga, it's truly a car wreck, and I'm craning my neck to look. I got to be honest. I am. And I think a lot of college football fans are. Probably because the team that you and I are loyal to and are graduates of in Clemson is also a car wreck. So it's almost like you just, this Clemson-Florida State game is going to be terrible next week or whatever it is. No,
I think ours is a pretty bad wreck, but it's on fire over there.
That's true.
You're staring at that one. Thank
Florida
you, Florida State, for taking this attention away from.
Absolutely. It's an absolute dumpster fire. So I've been consuming that content, and the idea of losing to Stanford is just unbelievable. So let's get to Miami-Stanford here. Miami is a 29.5-point favorite. Stanford coming off the FSU win, but their quarterback did go down in that game. That's the other thing, is Florida State knocked out their quarterback and they still lost. And then Stanford has to travel 3,000 miles, probably more than 3,000 miles. Truly the longest trip in college sports, I would guess, from Stanford to Miami. Miami's gonna be fine. They're gonna bounce back, right, Mac? Like, you're a 30-point favorite. What do we need to see from Miami here?
Yeah. I want to see him run the football. I mean, you look at 2 games in a row, against Florida State where now listen, they loaded up the box, they did their thing, but, they held you to 130 yards and they held you to, under 4 yards a rush, which is a big deal. And that's something, as an offensive line, we take great pride in and want to get going. And then, of course, this last week against Louisville, you're held to 60 yards and losing on Friday night in front of the whole world. So I think you kind of take some frustration from these last 4 weeks because you think of, or 3 weeks, I guess it was a bye, Florida State, bye, Louisville, and then, just now you're sprinting into this one. So, let's go. Let's lean on those boys up front. Let's make a statement. And I know you want to see Carson bounce back too, but mainly for Carson, I just want to see good decisions being made. I just want to see him what he had done, everything perfectly up until, this last game, not feeling like he has to push the ball downfield if that's not the key. If there's a check down open, which there were many a times, just throw it to him. Just play within the offense. Don't try to do. I mean, that was UGA Carson. I don't want that. I want the Miami Carson. I want the 2 years ago UGA Carson that operates within the offense, that does it his way, and does it the way that we need him to. And we just did not see that last week against Louisville. So I'm fascinated to see that bounce back. I think we surely will. And I want to talk about these uniforms too, because you're a big hater. You're a
Okay.
hater.
All right, we're gonna get to uniforms because I do have one more point with Miami. The other thing we'll get to that. You're right about Carson Beck. I mean, truly, Mac, if he takes away one of those picks, obviously the pick that ended the game, but even just one of the other ones, they probably still win the game, even a game where you just did not play well. So I think Miami can still win the national championship. I mean, you look back at teams, look at recent years. Ohio State had that clunker of a game where they lost to Michigan, right? Notre Dame made the national title last year. They lost to Northern Illinois. Like, you can have a slip up. You can really only have one, I think. So that's where Miami's got to get it together. But you can have a slip up. And the beauty of it is, I mean, you had a slip up against a top 20 team. They're top 20 now. That's a good team. It's not a Northern Illinois. And maybe it's something they need to kind of right the ship. But the other thing I want to see too, Mac, and we talked to Akeem Mesidor the week before, like, you want to see that D-line do something. I know Stanford's probably going to try to get it out quickly like Louisville did, but they don't have the weapons. And who knows who's playing quarterback for Stanford. They don't have the weapons that Louisville has. So even Florida State was able to sack Stanford twice and had 5 tackles for loss in an absolutely abysmal performance. We got to see Miami's D-line look better, Mac. And I guess the real question before we get to uniforms is, this number is huge.
It is huge.
29.5.
Well, but I think that it's like, that's what you need to do. Like that, you need to go out and beat these guys by 30,
Yeah, you do.
40 points. And everything you just mentioned should translate to the game. And I think there's even, I hate saying like you learn from losses, but you do. And, I think that like that fuel better be firing on all cylinders. It better be rolling right now because, again, all throughout, we're sitting here talking, this is the best offensive line, this is the best defensive line, and you both got punked against Louisville on Friday night. 4 million people watched, that happen. And so that you got to take that, to the heart and translate it to this next game. And that stinks that it's Stanford. Sorry, here it comes. That's kind of the mindset that I hope we see from this team, because then you can really start to measure, that championship mentality. And are these guys good enough? That's what we'll find out, because everybody's going to point to the schedule and look and say, see, they don't play anybody. They don't do this. They don't do that. Well, okay, you better win by a lot. That margin of victory needs to be dominant. We need to see you guys flexing your muscles. And that's exactly what they want to start here. So maybe it's not the smartest thing, but I am taking Miami with the points because I do think they want to make a statement here.
I agree. I think they will look good. I think they will win by a lot. I think 29.5 is ridiculous.
It's a huge.
I think Stanford covers that. I think they win by
25. Like, what's the number in your head? 21.
Yeah, 21, 24, something like that. I mean,
it's a lot of points. 30
like
points.
40-14.
Yeah.
Stanford still covers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's just a crazy amount of points. And Stanford is coming off a win. They probably got some confidence from that situation.
Real juice. It was all an inside game by FSU. Good job.
Yeah, of course. I see what they're trying to do. Okay, the uniforms, Mac. I know Mac comes from a proud military family, and we, as a nation, are grateful for the service of the Mac Lanes. Like, I'm being very serious. But those uniforms, they're ugly. They're ugly, Mac.
No.
You are Miami. You have beautiful uniforms. You have iconic
You
colors.
know, it's funny you bring that up. Kirk
What are we
Herbstreit
doing?
said they're horrific. Kirk Herbstreit said they're like the worst uniforms ever. They're
Like,
normal uniform, just their normal uniform.
oh, really?
I think
See,
it's an Adidas shot. I think he's a shot at Adidas. I think that's
I
what it
mean,
is. He's a
look,
Nike guy.
here's the thing. In normal life, do I wear orange and green together? No. But do I wear orange and purple together in real life? No.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Those
there's
are
the
sick.
uniform.
I don't know why my camera can't pick up things. You just need to pop it up so people can see it. This
Okay,
is cool. This is super cool. I'll tell you the thing that would have separated it though,
tell me.
that would have just popped off, is if they would have used like the neon orange
Yeah,
lining. That
there's
would
no
have been
Miami colors.
crazy. That would have been crazy.
That's what I don't like. There's no
But,
Miami colors.
you know, it's Adidas. If it was Nike, it probably would have looked that way. So, D-Rad, stripes
As
out of
a
here. Let's get back
as
to the
a
facts.
if okay, I'm just gonna say something that is people are probably gonna be annoyed by. If Beck throws a couple picks in this game, do, do we say, look, his receivers are literally in
Couldn't see him.
camouflage?
Couldn't see him.
I mean,
Somebody, it was actually a Louisville guy, Matt, I'm sorry, I forget your last name. He tweeted out, wearing camouflage jerseys after Carson Beck just threw 4 picks
I'm saying
is a choice.
it feels. I just hope that they ran this by Carson at some point. He's like, all right, it's fine.
Yeah. Carson, can you see
look,
this?
this is a sketchy situation here.
Hey, Carson drops back and all he sees is white jerseys everywhere. He's
Yeah,
like, my guys.
guys, come on.
So funny.
This seems like a bad
Yeah.
call.
It seems like a great
read the
meme.
room.
Somebody needs to make this. Somebody needs to make this happen. It would be so funny.
Read the room. All right. I'm also just a uniform purist.
I understand that.
I like Alabama's uniforms.
Well, we need
like
to talk about, not
Texas's
right
uniforms.
now, maybe at the end of the year, Clemson just wearing whatever Clemson wants. That's crazy. Anyway, we'll talk
Well,
about that later.
that is telling of
It
where we're
was
at.
telling. Like, I'll be 100%
time.
honest. When I saw that in Atlanta, I was like, these boys are getting smoked today. Like, it's not
I
happening.
think
It's not happening.
the orange pants in a game that meant nothing was
Those
what
things are sacred.
bothered me.
I was actually
Yeah.
upset about that. I was upset about
You
that.
should be.
Anyway,
All
not
right.
about them, not about Florida State. Why do we keep bringing up
Tangent.
these bums? Let's not talk about them.
Tangent. Yeah, we have 4 top 20 teams, and none of them are
Yeah.
Clemson or Florida State. Moving on. Number 19, Louisville, is hosting Boston College. Eric McLean and the Huddle squad will be there. Louisville's a 24.5-point favorite. Night game, 7:30 p.m. on ACC Network. The bourbon will be flowing, I'm sure, in that stadium and surrounding areas. So I have been to a game at Louisville as a fan, and I thought it was a night game, I believe. I thought the environment was great. So I think there will be a good environment, I hope, for this game with Louisville and how good they are. Mac, this is similar to Miami Stanford, right? You need to go out there, handle your business. Boston College has no business, using that word again, being anywhere in this game. They have so many injuries. Their roster is not your roster. And I think the main thing I want to see is Isaac Brown have another good game. Like, I know he's been hurt. He's back. Obviously, he was great against Miami. Let's continue to build on that. And Louisville just, look like the top 20 team that you are now.
This is kind of there's 2 big points here that one, I very much so want to see. The other, I don't need anything close to it. And I'll start with the positive one. Clemson rushed for 230 yards on these boys. Clemson cannot run the ball effectively.
Yeah, that's telling.
Needs 3+. Like, hopefully I run into Coach Brom in the next day and I say, hey, bro, just run the ball. Do not pass it. Throw all the passing plays out. Run this ball. Let's get out of this game in 2 hours and 45 minutes, and let's all go home. That's what I want to see. I want to see Ike run for 1 billion yards. I mean, like 200 yards by himself would be sick. And I think clearly they can do that if they channel what we saw from them, against Miami. So as fun as it is to throw the long ball, and I know that everybody likes that, I want to see ground and pound, and I want to see some big explosive runs, which I think they surely can. And other guys involved, like, where's Duke Watson? Is he available to go? I don't know the status of where he is and how he's feeling, but I mean, Louisville has some guys back there. It's been fun to see. other guys like K Brown, back there and Braxton Jennings and company. So that's what I really want to see. Now, the negative side of this, KG, is I don't know if this is a game, but it might be coming, it might not. After Coach Brom and company beat a top four
No.
team, they have an unbelievable letdown game. Look at Stanford last year. I'm going to look that
Yep.
up and see when
Yep.
that was. I think it might have been back to back, honestly, which makes me want to throw
After
up.
they beat Clemson.
Yeah, I think it was right after they beat Clemson. It surely
Yep.
was the very next
Yeah.
week. And so that's kind of the thing that I'm paying attention to is can you not do that? Can you throw that out? And he's had enough experience doing it that you need to know. It needs to be it doesn't need to be something, oh, we don't talk about it. No, everybody needs to know that we can't do this. We cannot do this. And it goes back to our initial thing with all of these teams. Virginia, you're next. We're going to talk about it here in a second. You have got to handle your business. And it's not even a fact of just win the game. No, no, no. It's blowing these dudes out. And they absolutely should, can, and I think will. Again, I'm being super optimistic this episode, I guess. I just think the crazy, which is not going to happen probably. But I think Louisville has that ability. And BC just struggling, hurt everywhere, weird things floating around that program, it feels like right now. So I think with a lot of juice, a lot of excitement, hopefully a lot of game day excitement with us being there and others, this is a butt whipping. That's what I'm hoping for.
And you're at home. You're not traveling out to Stanford this time, so that's good. I kind of just realized this, Mac, when you look at the ACC's top 4 teams, all the teams ranked in the top 20, they're pretty much playing the 4 worst teams in the league this week.
That's how we
I
set
mean,
it up.
depending on how you view Syracuse, but Syracuse without Steve Angeli
No,
may
they're
be one of
bad.
the 4
They're
worst.
terrible.
Stanford, BC, and then of course Virginia playing North Carolina. So yes, you need to see some statement wins here, Mac. Completely agree. And the other thing too, I think it was Greg McElroy that I saw talking about this. He says, when you look at 4 teams in the top 20, he's like, look, I think the ACC's getting 2. It's really a question
Oh,
of
Greg.
can they
Hey,
get
Greg,
3?
breaking news. Hey, thanks, Greg, for the hot take.
No,
Yeah,
no,
we're
no.
getting
I'm trying
2.
to give Greg some praise here. This is good.
Oh, don't do that. That's of course. Yeah, we're getting 2.
Okay. All right.
Get
All
out of
right.
here, Greg.
All right.
3. 3's
But
the
are
number.
we talking 3?
Yes.
And then it's a Louisville, Virginia probably discussion if Georgia Tech can continue to handle their business. And the thing, what
I
are
can't
you
believe you're just giving Greg credit. Oh, he said 2.
I would like to
Awesome.
give Greg
Breaking
credit.
news.
Do you know why, Mac? Because Greg is actually, and I'm serious about this, and we've had Greg on the show. Greg is someone who doesn't just talk about the SEC only all the time.
For sure.
And so I appreciate that about Greg.
Yeah.
But if we're talking Georgia Tech and Miami then it's Virginia and Louisville possibly for that 3rd spot. And
Maybe
the thing
SMU.
that
Maybe
Louisville
SMU.
that's struggling, SMU, thank you, you're right, SMU as well, and SMU will get their chance to play Louisville and Miami. But the thing about Louisville is they lost to Virginia. So you need, to your point, Mac, you need statement wins when you're playing a team like this.
Let me
So,
give you a little hypothetical right now and tell me what happens.
I'm ready.
So let's say I'm pulling up the standings. Sorry, this is taking forever. Let's say Georgia Tech and Virginia win out, and they are respectively 12-0 and 11-1 in the ACC championship. Let's say Virginia,
Because Miami wouldn't be in there, yeah.
let's say Miami and Louisville also win out, which can happen, and we're looking at 2 one-loss teams not in. Virginia beats Georgia Tech in a close game, and you have 4 one-loss ACC teams. Are they all 4 in?
Yo. I don't think the powers that be would let that happen.
All I'm saying is Jim Phillips, make it happen.
Even if all 4 are deserving probably at that point, I don't think I'm not sure that would happen, sadly. But it also depends what else happens around the league, or around the country. That's
very
fascinating.
possible. Very possible.
Okay, well, okay, before we get to Virginia, does Louisville cover? I think they cover. 24.5.
You feel better about Louisville covering than Miami covering? That's fascinating.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, for sure. Of course. I think all these teams cover.
I think BC is worse than Stanford.
They probably are.
Stanford's coming off a win.
Bad teams. And you know what? That's part of it. To have really good teams, you got to have really bad teams too. It's just what it is.
Well, yeah, there's 17
Somebody's got to be
teams.
bad. Somebody's got to be bad.
So are you going with it?
Yeah. Louisville covers.
All right.
I'm all in. Do you want to talk about Roback before you get to the headquarters of freaking Virginia?
Yes.
You want to do
But I
that?
also wanted to apologize because for some reason
I
I
know. You
copy
should
and
Clemson
pasted this
agree. You only
wrong,
got 2 of them, but numbers are hard. I get that.
and I put
I get that.
Virginia after Louisville, but Virginia's number 16 in the country. What
I
am I doing?
understand. I
Okay,
understand.
well, then we'll give Virginia love here with Roback and roback.com. Use our code GM20 for 20% off. The Virginia stuff, which there are, yes, Roback is based up there in Seaville. The Virginia stuff is fire. It is. I think Virginia's colors are really nice. I just like their brand,
Mm,
that kind of thing. I'm a
yeah.
big fan. So yes, use our code GM20. This is also Roback. I'm post baby, I'm getting back in my old Roback
Come
stuff. It
on.
feels really good, Mac. And as I've been telling you guys, their women's line, they've been launching so many new women's things. So that's something to look at as we get closer to Christmas and you want to get your wife something, fellas. It comes recommended from me. All right. In the comments, if you need to know exactly what to get her, you tell me like 2 things about her, I'll tell you exactly what to get. I'm gonna become like a advisor here.
She can do that. She
Yeah,
knows.
I
She
got you.
knows. So let's get to them real quick, and then let's jump back into this.
Rollback just dropped their licensed game day collection. Polos, hoodies, Q-zips, custom designed for your school. On game days, we wear Rollback, period.
Mac, Vegas continues to disrespect Virginia, and I continue to disrespect them, even though I love Virginia. So that's on me. I'm so sorry, guys. They're number 16 in the country. They should have been above Louisville in this discussion. But number 16, Virginia, is traveling to North Carolina, and that is a noon game on ACC Network. UVA is a 10.5-point favorite. Low number, Mac. And I think that's because North Carolina and Virginia have played, oh my gosh, I can't even do the math here, 70 plus 59, 29 times. The all-time series is
Are there any
66,
ties? There's no ties?
66, 59, and 4.
Oh, there you go.
So they've played, just all the time. One of the oldest rivalries in the sport. And the game is always weird. I mean, think back to 2 years ago when UNC was one of the top teams in the country and Virginia rolled in there and won. Like you just,
Ran it all over them.
yeah, you can't predict this game. UNC blew them out last year. It's a game that's, I think, very hard to predict. And then when you add on to that, Mac, as you and I've discussed, Virginia has just, since the Florida State win, their offense didn't look great against Louisville. They survived there, and then it really didn't look good against Washington State. So if your offense doesn't look good against UNC's defense, then I think we really have a problem.
Right. Yeah. Something's wrong. And, I am so fascinated. And Vegas agrees with me. So I'm just going to say that. It's not like I'm just pulling this out of the blue here. I think this is the game where you're just like, oh no, is this going to happen?
Is that because UNC's been close the last couple weeks and it feels like they're going to figure
Well,
it
the
out? Or
last
it's more
week, they were
about
close
Virginia?
last week. I mean, Clemson blew them out by 30
No,
points.
not that game. Yeah,
I just think it's more
Cal
about
game.
Virginia. I think they're just messing around, and the offense hasn't quite looked the same. They haven't ran the ball super effectively, didn't run the ball super effectively, which I think is a big core of who they are. And mistakes are going to catch up with you eventually. I mean, you get too close to the sun. Virginia is very much kind of like Miami a year ago, where they're just flying right beside it, and you're just like, come back, you're too close, And I do think Coach E, obviously throughout his career has seen a bunch of things, has seen Clemson go through something similar to this back in, maybe 2011, when we were kind of on the rise for the first time in a long time. And he kind of saw maybe the flaws of that team and that team kind of starting to feel themselves and not pay attention to the details, things of that nature. And he came right at him. I mean, he took forever. I don't know if you saw tweets about it, to go and talk to the media after, because he was having like a team meeting after the game. And that's, I love that. And that's a big piece. And he just kind of looking at all those guys and say, I hope you understand what we have the ability to do. Like, I hope you understand and pay attention to details and, don't pay attention to what people say or don't hear what people say. And, can we just rally and come together? And I think that's a good war cry, with the back-to-back games. Now, again, Louisville game is a huge game, huge win. Obviously, Florida State, huge win. But then, kind of to have a walk-off safety against a 3-win Power 6 team or G6 team, whatever the heck it's called now, that ain't good. And so that's kind of why I'm thinking, where are we at?
Mhm.
Where mentally, what are we going to do? You're going to walk into that stadium, there's going to be 30 people, like it's going to be empty.
Noon.
Not going to be good. So you got to create your own juice, create your own energy, and literally just think of, I'm doing this for these guys on this sideline. That's where I am, and that's what I want to see from them. So don't turn the ball over, run the football effectively, and let's play good on defense like we have been doing these last couple of weeks.
Coach Mac with the pep talk here. I love it.
Sign me
I'm
up.
with you. I'm with you. I do think UNC, the letdown of coming back from Cal, coming back from all the way out there and no bye afterwards, plus a noon game, plus, like you said, is there going to be anybody there? I think this really is a get right for Virginia. I think they cover. But to your
Okay, you're
point,
feeling way confident. Okay,
I
good.
do. I think Vegas, and I
But
know
are
this is,
you're more so saying it's about North
yeah,
Carolina mentally where
yeah,
they are? Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
And I know Vegas knows everything, and
They do.
there's a reason why this number is pretty low. But I think Virginia's gonna get it right. I mean, UNC is the get right game. It's been a get right game for a lot of people,
Should be.
and that's what it
So
will be for
let
the
me
Hoosiers.
ask you this: should I pick against them, knowing that then they'll play really well? Like,
As
should I do
in,
the mental? If I pick against Virginia and say UNC covers, then Virginia's going to blow them out. That's
I was
just
gonna say, just covering, not picking them to lose.
no. I don't think they lose.
Okay, okay.
I don't think.
Yeah, do it. I think that's good, Matt.
But do I? I'm
Are
scared.
you serious?
I am scared of this game. I'm terrified of this game. I don't know
I'm
why.
not that worried.
Vegas is too. It's 10. Everybody else is 30 points. And these guys are 10 to to maybe the worst team in the league. There's two
How
worst teams in the
far
league.
how far have we come, though? These are the two things I'm thinking about Virginia. You're on the road. You don't have your great home environment. What a crazy thing to say about Virginia.
I like it. I'm
And
in
then
Virginia.
second thing, Virginia's having come to Jesus meetings after wins. I love it. This is
I'm
a
looking
new
at this
Virginia.
schedule, and I'm thinking in 2 weeks we might be in Virginia, and I'm excited for that. They
Yeah.
play Wake Forest. Who knows? Wake Forest might get a big dub. We're about to talk about that in a second. Give me the heels. Put me on the media clip. Put me
Wow.
on the social clip. Give me the heels.
Yeah, Virginia already did that to you once, didn't they? Just to cover, though. You're saying just to
Just
cover
to
or
cover.
win? All right. Oh my gosh, stop. Okay. Well, speaking of the Deeks, SMU is traveling to Wake Forest. This is noon on CW. I swear they put poor
A
SMU
lot
on
of
CW
Jeez
more than
Louise.
anybody.
And CW.
But SMU's only 3.5-point favorite. Now, SMU had to fly out to Clemson, fly back. Now they got to fly out to Wake and do kind of the back-to-back East Coast trip. That being said, SMU looked very good against Clemson. And I saw some SMU fans maybe not thrilled with us, Eric McLean, on our SMU Clemson recap because they said we weren't giving SMU enough credit.
We literally did not talk SMU on that. I'm sorry. That is on me. I was in my feelings.
Yes, it was an emotional time. It was an emotional time.
They are very true about that. Because as soon as we got done recording, I'm like, did we talk about us?
Well, Mac, one of the comments was the girl said, I don't want to take credit away from SMU, and then proceeds to take credit away from SMU for
Got
15
him.
minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got her. Sorry.
Now, okay.
That's on us. Thanks for watching, though. Hope you watch right now.
Yeah. Obviously, Mac and I were processing. It was an emotional time. We're going to talk about SMU here and give them all the credit in the world because they're undefeated in the league. They've won 20 straight regular season conference games. They have yet to lose an ACC game. Florida State would kill for that, okay? And even with a banged up Kevin Jennings, which he's been banged up, and Rhett Lashley was talking about this week. He's been banged up since the Baylor game, and it's an ankle. And Mac, as someone who has broken my ankle and who has, I would say, 70 ankle sprains in my life, it's really hard when you keep rolling it. And that's what Rhett said. He said every time that ankle gets healthy, he basically re-rolls it. And that's what happened against Clemson. But right after he rolled it against Clemson, he threw that 70-yard bomb to Jordan Hudson. And that just shows who Kevin Jennings is. I mean, last year, we talked about him like one of the best quarterbacks in the country. This year, we haven't talked about him as much because, unfortunately, SMU had a really tough non-conference. They dropped that game to Baylor that they should have won. I don't think they really should have won the TCU game, but the Baylor game in overtime, you probably should have won that game. Mm-hmm. And so we haven't talked about them as much, but it feels like they're getting some confidence at the right time. My big question with them is just that defense, which has been really bad against the pass, even bad against Clemson's backup quarterback. Can the defense continue to get better? And can we see that against the Deeks?
Well, I think I'm going to start with KJ because he is playing at such a high level. And it's weird. It's not like I wanna say under the radar, maybe unappreciated is
Yeah.
the right word. I mean, this dude leads the ACC in touchdowns thrown, right? Like, he's 2nd in passing with a bum ankle and apparently an illness last week against
Yeah,
Clemson
that
at
too.
his MJ flu game. Thanks, KJ. Just kidding. But, I think there is something to that, and, it's interesting to see just because maybe the bum ankle is gonna make him a better quarterback. 'Cause maybe it makes him slow down, stay in the pocket, go through your reads where you can't just get out and create. Not that I wanna limit him because I think he's spectacular and one of the most elusive dudes, to play the game, but there is something to it when you're hurt and you can't be all you wanna be, that you have to pay attention a little bit more. You gotta focus a little bit more. And I think they take advantage of that this week, and I think they continue to, flourish offensively. It's been really fun to watch KJ and some of those passes, my goodness, that he made against Clemson. I mean, it was
Mhm.
sick. That one where he's rolling to the left and he throws it off balance to Matthew Hibner, which I think he caught it with one hand too. That was sick. That was a really good play and just kind of fun to watch. So I'm loving the Mustangs, and here they are. And I've said this admittedly a bunch. Like, they're probably exactly where I thought they were last year, which I was just kind of like, man, we'll see. Who knows? They're okay team. And then in November, they just kind of exploded. And we're looking like a really, really good team down the stretch. So looks like that's what they're going to do again. I think the interesting thing of this, when you look at the SMU, matchup with Wake Forest, just the quarterback situation for Wake, is Robbie good to go? Are they going with the backup? Who's going to be the guy in
He's
there?
listed as, or from what I was reading, he's probable, and same with Damon Claiborne,
Right.
probable.
So definitely helps Wake Forest
Yeah.
that they have those two guys out there. Just passing wise, can you limit him? Can he limit himself? I know it's the worst passing defense in the league, and Wake Forest going to look to take advantage of that. But if they can really hone in and take away Claiborne, easy to say, not easy to do, then okay, we've got an interesting matchup here. I feel a little spooky about this game. Not as much, a little spooky, but I think Kevin Jennings shows he's the best player on the field, and they get the dub there.
I feel a bit spooky about it too. You have a noon start, so 11 a.m. your time, and we'll see how full the stadium is.
Say it. Go ahead.
Just saying. Um, and then Wake is coming off a bye. So there is that. They went out to Oregon State, beat up on them with a backup quarterback, and then they were able to get rest and get a bye. So they've been able to get healthy. I feel like when you say probable, we're probably going to see, that's literally what it means, probably, Robbie Ashford and Damon Claiborne. I think Damon Claiborne would probably have to have a leg amputated to not play. Like, he's going to play. And he's a problem, as we know. If this, I just, the number is so low. That's what's weirding me out. If it was SMU minus 7.5,
Mhm.
I'd say, okay, Wake covers, SMU
Mhm.
wins.
Mhm.
3.5, that gives me some pause. But I think SMU was able to get a little more confidence from that Clemson
Sure.
win.
Sure.
The secondary still worries me, but I'm also like, Robbie Ashford doesn't terrify me if I'm SMU. So I think,
Especially coming off an injury. No.
yeah,
And I
exactly.
think again, with it being so low, you're right. You're just like, do you think Wake wins? Like, is that what
Right. That's the
that's
thing.
essentially what you're picking, in my opinion. And so I don't think so. Now I won't be shocked. I'll tell you that. These past two games, they're the ones for me that are like typical ACC thing happens. Underdog
Yeah.
wins both those games. But I do think Kevin Jennings does his thing. I think the defense continues to rise up, play at a high level. And again, if you can limit, if I say shut down, if you can shut down Claiborne, you're in a good spot. You're in a good spot.
Whichever team can find a way to run the ball better is probably gonna win the game. Like,
Yes.
I think we need to see a little more of a run game from SMU as well. But yeah, I'll take the ponies. Take the ponies. But Wake's scary. Wake should have beaten Georgia Tech, as we've discussed many, many times. Okay, I put these in the rest of y'all category. Cal Virginia Tech is definitely there. NC State Pitt, there is some intrigue because, I mean, I'm interested in Pitt, what they're doing right now. They didn't look great against Syracuse, but they didn't have to, right? So can you look better back at home against NC State on offense, 3:30 on ACC Network? This is a intern Nick special. Pitt has been one of the best teams against the spread this season. They are 5-2 against the spread, 3-0 as a home favorite. Seems like a low number too, Mac. Like, what is Vegas? What's going on?
They
Five and a
just
half?
know. They just know. They always do somehow, some way. We don't understand it. We don't know why. But I think NC State, a very good team. I mean, maybe the most talented when you look at roster wise,
Wait,
who
wait, wait. NC State, a very good team?
talented team, excuse me.
All right, that's what you meant. Got it, got it.
In regards to skill, like give me any of
Right.
those guys.
Skill
I
players,
would
yeah.
take any of those guys. I'd take your quarterback too. I think he's going to be tremendous. Um, maybe somewhere else. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's a challenge, and they can get hot at any time. But coming off, that tail whipping against Notre Dame, which went exactly how I thought it would go. What do you look like? How motivated are you? A team that has 3 losses right now. You're 4-3. There's not a ton out there. I mean, obviously bowling and postseason, but this team probably had a little bit bigger aspirations than that, just with who they have from a skill position
Also, Mac,
standpoint.
NC State's stretch of who they have left, by the way, they're coming off a bye, so they do have a bye week going into this game. Maybe that's why the spread's low. They have Pitt, a good Pitt team, Georgia Tech, Miami, Florida State, who knows, and then the rivalry game, North Carolina. So there aren't. I mean, this is a game you feel like you probably need to win if you're going to go bowling.
100%. And so, just where are they mentally is my biggest thing. And then, a Pittsburgh team, are we going to continue to see this magic, of their talented freshman Heinzel there go in and do his thing. And then Des Reed going to continue to be, as good of a player as anybody in the entire country. So give me the Panthers. I think that they've got surely something to play for here. And even, I mean, they have 1 loss in the ACC. Who knows? Chaotic things happen for these guys, and they control their own destiny, playing number 7 Georgia Tech and number 9 Miami to end the season. And how funny would it be if that happened? Not funny to me. I'd be depressed.
All right, speaking of depression, Cal is going to Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's a 4.5-point favorite, 7:30 p.m. ESPN
What?
Friday night.
What?
Friday night. Mac, you know I love a road underdog on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Give me Cal to cover. Virginia Tech, give me Cal to win. Virginia Tech is 0-4 against the spread this season at home and as a favorite. Give me the Golden Bears.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I don't know about this. Maybe they're anticipating young freshmen in Lane Stadium, which we know is going to be packed.
Is it though?
Oh yeah, yes. I'm never questioning the Hokies. They'll be. What else you gonna do? What
I
you gonna do? You
wouldn't
gonna
blame
watch
them.
a drive-in movie? Like, what are you gonna do in Blacksburg?
They're
Go to
good.
the
They're
game.
ready for hoop season in Blacksburg. They're ready.
Can't speak on that. Are they gonna be good? Like women's? What are we talking about?
I think they should be pretty good in both. I think they should be tournament teams in both. But anyway, continue.
What else are you gonna do? Show up. Show up. Go to basketball practice, then go to the game.
Literally
Just
go to
let's get after it.
basketball
Let's get
practice.
after it. It's Friday night in Lane. It's gonna be packed. I can't believe you're questioning our Hokie friends.
But
here.
here's the thing. I wouldn't blame them at all. Like, go to the pumpkin
You already
patch,
spent the
you know?
money. What else are you doing?
Go to the pumpkin
Show up.
patch.
No, the pumpkin patch. It's nighttime. You don't go to the pumpkin patch at night. It's scary. You don't want to be out there.
Spooky.
With that said, though, I do think Cal's winning this game. So I think it is crazy.
You
Virginia
agree?
Tech is favored. I think that's wild. It's going to be interesting to see, does Sangapelatele get back after it and throw the ball? Is he going to turn it over? You turn it over in Lane Stadium, it's a wrap.
True.
So you got to be really careful there. But give me the Bears to win this thing, and another 1-loss team in the ACC. Who knows?
We agreed on most of these, Eric McLean.
Did
so
we?
We'll
That's
see.
boring.
I think Virginia, North Carolina is going to be our real differentiator. And you, sir, are betting on Bill Belichick and Tar Heel.
I'm betting on the chaos of the ACC. Coastal chaos is what I'm
Got
betting.
it.
So anyway, we'll see, guys. Drop in the comments. Are you with us? Are you against us? Am I crazy? Is she crazy? What's your spookiest game? This is the weekend where something's going to happen. I'm just going to tell you. And if it doesn't, I'll be the happiest guy alive. Be the happiest guy. Let me just tell you that. The most relief. So anyway, we appreciate y'all. Go subscribe, jump in the comments, jump on the channel. Cannot do this without you guys. We really appreciate your support. We'll be back next week, and hopefully it's just a run-of-the-mill week. Cannot wait. Appreciate y'all as always. We'll see you next time.